The choice is yours. If you've got a better idea, put it out there. But it seems like the only idea is to cut Social Security by $1.5 trillion and to cut people's benefits by raising the age 21% across the board.
Doing that, and we're willing to put everything on the table. And so, yes, I'll yield.
So what is it you're putting on the table? And let's put all those discussions on the table. And I totally agree with you that people like yourself and others are very sincere about this, except the proof is in the pudding.
So and I'll take.
That was Representative LARSON having a real-time battle with a Republican about Social Security, basically calling him out. I'm going to play that full video clip. Also, will you receive a $1,900 Social Security check today, January 15th? Big payments today. Also, we have a $4,320 payment in back payments as well. So I'm going to get into those payments, see if you're on the list to receive those Social Security payments, because this is only for certain Social Security recipients. I'll let you know who's on the list to receive these payments, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Before I dive into the main content, if you appreciate these Social Security updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Social Security updates. So, will you receive the $1,900 today, January 15th? This is only going out to certain Social Security recipients. The amounts that we can see: retired workers from $1,927 to $1,976. You could pause the screen here to see what the other payments will be. I'm not going to go over all these numbers, but I will give you the exact dates. If we look at the calendar here, today, January 15th, if your birthday is between the 11th and the 21st, you will receive your check today. Or 11th and the 20th, sorry. So those checks are going out today. When it comes to this, recipients to get $4,320 in backdated payments. I'll let you know if you're on that Social Security list. But first, let's take a listen to Representative LARSON calling out the Republican congressman about Social Security, saying, what do you have to offer? You're not going to want to miss this. Take a listen.
Hey, let's pay for this. Let's have people who pay nothing or next to nothing, millionaires and billionaires, just pay their fair share of what the guy making $50,000 or $30,000 a year has to pay all year long. You know what that does? It both allows us to extend the benefits and also allows us to extend the solvency. The choice is yours. If you've got a better idea, put it out there. But it seems like the only idea is to cut Social Security by $1.5 trillion and to cut people's benefits by raising the age 21% across the board. I yield back.
Thank you. I now have the pleasure of introducing our witnesses for the day. Stephen Goss is the chief. Mr. Smucker, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I refer to something Mr. LARSON said. I'm not even sure where to start here. There's a lot to talk about. This has been a great conversation. A few things I want to mention, I think. Mr. Goss, you had responded in an answer to a question from Mr. Kustoff about the commission or the deal in '83 and talked very positively about that, really people coming together and resolving this, putting everything on the table and making it solvent for years to come. We could do that again, right? And we should do that.
Absolutely. We're much looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I'd like to suggest to Mr. LARSON and others who I think are sincere about the desire to fix Social Security, there's a difference between proposing a bill that doesn't go anywhere and having a real bipartisan discussion about resolving this. And so I guess I'd like to suggest the Fiscal Commission that we had recommended that looks at both debt and Social Security really is an attempt to do that. And I know you've spoken out.
Would the gentleman yield?
Let me finish my sentence,
Sure.
and I'll be happy
Sure.
to. I know you've spoken out against that, and I'm telling you in all sincerity that I think that we could resolve this if we had that kind of conversation with the American people. We could do what has been done in '83, and we could take your bill and others and put them together and really resolve this for the American people. I can tell you that I'm certainly interested in doing that. People on our side are interested in doing that, and we're willing to put everything on the table. And so, yes, I'll yield.
So what is it you're putting on the table, number one? And there are many Social Security proposals that exist out there, not just Social Security 2100. But also, there's a big difference between the Greenspan Commission and the commission that was proposed behind closed doors with only a select group of people with a decision that would require only an up or down vote. That is, that's not a democratic, let's sort through this, let's have this exposed to the public, let's go through this, and let's put all those discussions on the table. And I totally agree with you that people like yourself and others are very sincere about this, except the proof is in the pudding.
So and I'll take my time because I'd love to get to a lot more here, but I would love to continue to have that discussion. I would love to not just get a no on that, because I can tell you we're sincere about it, and we could put everything on the table to try to solve this. I do want to, on your point on the debt, so very briefly so that people understand this, initially when Social Security was put in place, we were taking in more money coming in than was going out, correct? When did that change? When did Social Security no longer begin to receive more money annually than they were paying out? Mr. Goss?
Well, most recently, that has occurred in 2010. It was expected to be in 2020 at the time of the 83 amendments, but because of some of the changes
since 2010, we've been paying out more than we've been taking in?
Exactly.
And within 9 years, the difference, the trust, which was the difference that has been accumulating over time, that has been borrowed and is being paid back, in 9 years, that expires, right? That is gone. We no longer have excess funds. Am I right on that?
On a combined basis, maybe 10 years, on that order.
So at that point, unless something changes, people will no longer get all of their Social Security benefits because we don't have money to pay it, correct?
Under current law, we
Yes.
cannot pay what's not in the fund.
Or if at that time Congress decides to make it up by taking on additional debt, that's a choice we could make, right? We could continue to pay benefits if nothing has changed by taking on additional debt and paying for those benefits.
Unprecedented, but anything is possible.
But at that point, it would add to the debt, right?
If Congress were to change the law and say that we will borrow from the public in order
The
to...
only point I'm making, and I'd love to have more conversation about this publicly, that's why we need a commission to talk about this, is that this will contribute. There's a fundamental problem. We have far less workers than we do retirees. That ratio is far different. And so we need more workers. By the way, I agree with Ms. Sanchez, who I don't often agree with, on immigration. It is something that's a partial solution here. We need a lot more workers. We should be talking about legal immigration. But it's a great conversation. I wish others would agree that we need to continue to have this conversation. This is how I think a commission could work. We would take this conversation across America. We would begin to have a real understanding of the facts and how they exist. We just can't have that conversation in 5 minutes each here. I only get 4 if I give some to you, but I'd love to continue this conversation. But thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence of time here.
Thank you, Mr. Smucker. Next, we'll go to our dear friend from the great state of Illinois, Mr. for his questions.
Thank you, Dr. Ferguson. And yeah, I almost don't know where to start, but basically, when I listen to the chairman speak, it's that, hey, you folks out there who are depending on Social Security, look, you already get enough. And for God's sake, what we don't want to do at all costs is make sure that billionaires pay their fair share, because that would be, and then hypothetically, what would happen? Dr. Swagel, has the general fund ever been used to pay for Social Security?
I don't.
And so it's never been used, but hypothetically, that's what we're using here to try to say to the American public that somehow this is part of it contributes to the debt and deficit. That is total BS. Now, let me ask a couple of questions here. Mr. Goss, if we were to raise the retirement age by 3 years, as has been proposed, what would that mean in terms of cut to benefits if we went from 67 to 70?
It would depend on how rapidly we did this, but at the point at which we had the retirement age raised by the 3 years, as you'd indicated earlier, that reduces retirement benefits, monthly benefits, and lifetime benefits by about 6.5% to 7% for each year that we raise. So an additional 3-year increase in the normal retirement age would in fact lower benefits by on the order of 20%.
What are your thoughts on Representative LARSON? I say Representative LARSON and Bernie Sanders are the only two Congress members basically caring about Social Security, wanting to increase and expand benefits. What are your thoughts on what they said there, what that dialogue was like between both Congress members? Let me know your thoughts. Let's get into this. Social Security update. Recipients to get $4,320 in backdated payments. So this is related to the Social Security Fairness Act, only affecting around 2.5 million Social Security recipients. So basically, the $360 increase, well, the average increase of $360 monthly is going to come out to $4,320 in backdated payments from January of 2024 to December of 2024. So if you're on the list and you're expecting this, this is how much it could be, around $4,320. So those are the payments. That's what's going on. That is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully cheer you up a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is Bella. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you something that you should really use. If you're like the pool or something and like you get hurt or something, you should just try your best, because sometimes that happens to me too, and it's not really fun. But if you got hurt like that one time, I'm sure you could deal with it, and you can be strong and powerful like how you are. So, bye! Hope you have a great day.
If Trump doesn't do something quick, Social Security benefits could be taxed up to 85% for Social Security recipients. You're not going to want to miss this video over here as I go over the details. Trump can make a difference if he decides to get rid of the taxes on Social Security as fast as possible. So click that video now. I'll give you all the information in that video. Take care. Be safe. Thank you for watching.